Yeah, but this episode should be called Author's Note Canceled, Not Clickbait.
Hello, and welcome to Author's Note.
Don't like, don't listen.
My name is Cass.
And my name is Tease.
And this is not going to be a super fun episode to record, but it's a necessary one. Mm-hmm. So, without beating around the bush at all, I came to the decision for myself that I needed to leave the podcast, and we decided together then that it would be best if we laid her to rest in the ground together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hi everybody. I'm gonna be crying all fucking episode, but I just feel like I can't do this without Cass. I mean, not only from a technical side, like I could, dare I say, learn how to edit audio, or I could hire somebody to edit, but I just feel like from a host point of view, I wouldn't do it with anybody else. I just feel like Cass and I had a really good combination, the two of us, and we just balanced each other out really well, and I don't think you can find that balance that easily, and I don't want to do it with anybody else. So
don't come into the DMs trying to put yourself in here. Get it? No, I don't know you. Be gone.
No. I mean, if you want to start a podcast with me, that's a different story completely. But to take over Author's Note, maybe not. I guess maybe some more housekeeping things. This, because we do have to pay for hosting, we are going to basically have the podcast up for one more month on all of the usual podcast places. But after a month, we're going to discontinue our Simplecast account. So that means you won't be able to find us like on Apple Podcasts or Spotify anymore, but we'll still be alive on YouTube. And you were saying something
about... You can always find a backlog of our stuff on Patreon as well. So for whatever reason you don't want to put it on YouTube, because I get it. You don't want to, have to keep the video on or running over. You can go and download it from Patreon. So I'll work this week on slowly putting those up. Go on. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm also going to put up the show and tell episodes on our YouTube channel. Speaking of our Final Fantasy 14
that came
PowerPoint.
Out, yeah.
Oh, that's out already?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
That
good.
I'm glad. That's unprivated on YouTube.
Awesome. Wonderful.
So everyone can see it now and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just to assuage any fears, we didn't have like a falling out or anything. We're not fighting. This is just... the podcast has been going on for over a year, and it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of emotional labor, and it took enough of my time, at least, that I wasn't able to move forward with a lot of stuff that I wanted to.
Same with me too, honestly.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing, but we just don't have the luxury of that sort of time in our lives right now, and that's okay. There are tons of other resources on the internet, and you can do your own research about this kind of stuff. I'm sure neither of us will ever shut up about fandom, but it won't be here anymore. And that's okay, Can
I make a confession?
Yeah, what's up?
In the back of my Hobonichi, I actually have a page dedicated of podcast episode ideas. So now I'm like, shit, what am I gonna do?
Welcome
with all
to
of
Tease's
these?
video essays.
God, that would be rancid, but maybe someday. Maybe if I'm strong. I'm not, because fuck that. No,
I believe in you.
I can barely write.
You'll find that strength.
A whole SSA video, but I have tons of ideas. So if anybody ever wants to carry the torch, come slither in. I got so many ideas for episodes.
Our Patreon obviously has been paused, so you haven't been charged for it. You're not going to be charged for it. We'll unlaunch it or whatever. I'll figure out the logistics of it. Our website will probably also go down at some point and become just like a regular card again. We'll make sure that is linked appropriately on the Twitter if you ever want to find us in the future. But don't expect anything from that Twitter account in the future. Don't expect anything from any of our accounts in the future. It's just sometimes you just want to take something and... when you need to end it before you grow to resent it. And I didn't want to end up in a place where I would grow to resent this podcast as a project for the amount of time it took or what have you. And I want to still be proud of it while it exists. So saying that, of course, I would also like to say to everyone, you know, I think we talked about like some things we wish we could send people off with, because obviously this isn't going to be a full-length episode. Remember that we are living human beings and individuals, and every episode of this podcast is a snapshot at a very specific moment in time, and that our ideas and our beliefs can change, and they can evolve, and we can change and evolve as people. I know the title of this episode is us being canceled, but like, to be honest,
it doesn't have to actually be the name of this episode. I want you to know I did record that, so you can use it as the cold open too. Good.
But everything is in its own way a sort of living body of a representation of a person, and people grow and we evolve and we change, and so our ideas do too, you know. So don't come to me 5 years down the line and say you said this in such and such episode of this podcast, you know, like okay. I can change and grow, Tease can change and grow, you know. I
will never change, I will never grow, I will always have terrible taste, but I will.
Okay, you can condemn yourself to that.
No, echoing what Cass said, I clearly want... I mean, I'm so proud of what we did for this show, but I know there's episodes that we were like, oh shit, we fucked this up. And in the next episode, we would go back and fix it and apologize or work on that. And I feel like I want to afford that grace for us as well as our listeners. And I think if you can grow and change and become different people within days, let alone years, I think you should also afford that to the content that we've made in the past. If you are going back on this as a backlog or something like that, just be considerate of yourself, be considerate of the people around you. And I mean, there's no shame in starting a conversation. I'm not going to reply on the YouTube account or anything like that, but I mean, you're allowed to talk to each other about it. God knows there's enough people who listen to us on YouTube and comment every week. And
yeah, there's some cool people in the comments. Hit them up. Talk to them.
Yeah.
Make friends.
Make your own author's note fandom, I guess. Whatever. But we won't be there. Yeah. No.
I will not shepherd you through this.
No, I will not. No. If you DM me some weird shit, goodbye.
I guess like that's part of it too. Like why I've had to step away is like I mentioned in like our last episode that I wasn't on social media. I was on Twitter. I checked my phone the other day through all of December, less than an hour for the entire month.
Wow. God, I wish that were me.
It could be. I have to be honest with you. Like, I just find more and more for myself that removing myself from social media is a lot better for me. And like, I do not at all want to come across as, you know, patronizing or superior in any way, because like, listen, if you're spending all your time on social media and it makes you happy, that's wonderful, and I'm incredibly glad for you. It just makes me paranoid and anxious. So it would be hard to continue to do this show without being sort of chronically online because of the nature of the things we're talking about.
I've noticed that, and I feel like also I'm just out of the loop. I don't exist on Instagram. I don't exist on TikTok. And I don't really find myself on Facebook. So really that kind of limits me to like Twitter and Tumblr drama and maybe YouTube drama. I don't even watch like YouTube gossip.
I know too much YouTube drama.
Yeah, so it's like we are slowly fading out of the picture and just our interests. I feel like we're also just like, we're growing up, obviously, and we're trying to find our own space in the world, and that might necessarily mean stepping away from social media, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, maybe if I made this podcast 4 years ago, this would go on for way longer, but 27, I have a fucking full-time job. I want to move out of my house. Like, I got shit to do. I know, Cass, you have shit to do. I know we work freelance jobs. We work more than a full-time job. We have other stuff going on. This podcast took up a lot of time and energy and effort, and
it's a baby that you have to feed and grow.
It's a baby. Yeah. And I just, maybe, I don't want to say like maybe down the line we'll make an episode, because I don't think we are. No. I really don't think we are.
Don't count on
it. Unless something catastrophic happens and we're like, it's time to dust it off. But even then, where would it live? YouTube, you know? So it's just a time and a place. And I mean, there's other I mean, you're an artist, you obviously exist, you publish stuff. Maybe we should just pitch to IDW a Furby comic. Hello, IDW, your Transformers comic was so good, now let us write Furby comic. That's how you'll find us mark my words, manifesting 2022, Cass and Tease write Furby comic. But the joke, besides the joke, I feel like we both exist online in spaces that you can hear our opinions and you can hear our thoughts. I mean, you're an artist, you do a lot of art, you do a lot of zines, you do a lot of poetry and writing, and I'm a writer and I never shut the fuck up chronically in general, so you'll hear from me somewhere down the line, and I don't know, maybe my energy will go elsewhere and I'll write more, or who fucking knows, you know?
But as we should remember too, you're not entitled to anything from us.
No.
Certainly not this podcast, and certainly not any of our work. And I think
not at all.
I think a lot of the work we've done on this podcast serves to project you further into your own rabbit holes, and there's a lot of incredible content if you want to explore niche or odd subjects. Everything from, you know, watching down the rabbit hole videos to defunct lane videos to or Izzy's, however you want to pronounce her name. I think it's Izzy's. I'm sorry, Izzy. It's out there and you can find it, and I think more importantly than anything, you know, thank you, because this podcast saw, for the short little life it had, some pretty impressive levels of success that we are incredibly humbled by, and that I know at least I didn't think it was going to get to that level. It was a little startling, but thank you, because your support and your feedback has allowed me to grow as a person, and I wouldn't trade this experience for anything, because at the end of the day, I've grown and I've learned. So I'm sure you have too. Thank you.
I'm so proud. I really am. I'm not gonna cry. I am crying. Damn it. Yeah, exactly what you said. That's the best way to put it, I think. Yeah.
Well, Tease, I think you thought you might have escaped one last time, but I have to ask, what's something that doesn't have a fandom that you wish did?
You know, I think the thing that I wish had a fandom is the Pikmin Bloom airport Pikmin. Have you seen that? They bring me so much joy. They're in little airplanes. And that is the fandom I want to be a part of.
All right. There won't be a next time. So, stay safe, get your vaccine, wear your mask, and indulge in the things you love. Bye.
Bye.